What is up, guys? I've got my Gaia deck profile for you here today. This is a really fun deck to play. It's all about kind of just destroying your opponent with big ass dragon fusions. I mean, it does the job. We like decks like this. That is just very simple, very straightforward. Konami has released huge amounts of support for this, so I am going to go through the different cards and just explain what they do now. But yeah, guys, this is definitely a fun deck. But I would say pick this up. If you were one of those people who was into the anime and you really liked kind of the original decks Yugioh was playing, this is definitely a good one, because it really does have that nostalgic feel. I mean, just seeing things like the new Curse of Dragon and the new Gaia, it is really cool. But anyway, yeah, let's get into it. So, Soldier, Gaia the Fierce Knight. You contribute a Dragon Fusion monster to special summon this from your hand. If it's special summoned, target one attack position monster on the field, change it to defense position. You contribute this card, add a level 7 or higher warrior monster from your deck to your hand, except this card, and you can only use each effect once per turn. So this is a nice card. This is really an extender. What you're often going to do is after making your Gaia, so one of your guys can pop cards by reducing attack. So after getting that to a low amount of attack, you're often going to use this to search out, to bring itself out and search out other monsters. It's also good for dodging effects, for example, if you know your monster's going to get destroyed anyway, or you can bring this out to dodge effects, which is really nice. We then have Gaia the Magical Knight, and it's always treated as a Gaia the Fierce Knight card. If you control no monsters, or if your opponent controls a monster with 2300 or more attack, you can normal summon this without tributing. And if you normal special summon this, you can special summon a level 5 dragon monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. So this is one of your main starters. This is going to bring out Curse of Dragon, which is a great card and does a lot. So it's just a nice card to have. It's very easy to summon. Then we have Cursed Dragon. Curse of Dragon, what a name. I wonder who got paid actual money to make that name. But anyway, yeah, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Gaia the Dragon Champion in its text. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Gaia the Dragon Champion in your monster zone, negate the effects of face-up monsters your opponent currently controls with attack less than or equal to it at the end of this turn. So this card is amazing. So first, obviously, it's going to be searching our Gaia the Dragon Champion spells, but not only that, its negation effect is so good because it doesn't target or anything. It's simply going to negate monsters with less attack than it, and because it's very easy to pump your monster's attacks up to high, I mean, it's usually your monster's going to be at 5200 because you're going to be using Spiral Fusion to bring it out, which means everything with less than 5200 attack is going to be negated. There's not going to be any monsters in the field with more attack than that, and so you're basically going to negate your opponent's entire board, which is great. So this card is wonderful. Yeah, and then also, obviously, it's got the search again, like I said, so that's a good effect. Then we have Origin Gaia the Fierce Knight, so it can be treated as 2 tributes with the summon of a warrior monster. You can only use each effect once per turn. You can send one level 5 or higher monster from your hands to a graveyard to special summon this card, and during the battle phase you can banish from the graveyard. Target one monster whose attack is different from its original attack, and its attack becomes its original attack. So this is a really good for 2 reasons. Obviously, it's going to special summon itself for free and put one of your Curse of Dragon in the graveyard, which is going to be really useful to bring out later with your Gaia the Magical Knight. But then not only that, also it can reduce your opponent's monster's attack back to its normal level, which is going to be great when your opponent is boosting up their monsters. Say they've got an invoked monster that they've decided to boost up for some reason. For example, you can use this and you can reduce that attack back. So it is a really nice card to have, just a lot of utility. And then we have Bombarding Catapult Turtle. You contribute one monster, including itself, special summon a Gaia the Fierce Knight or a level 5 dragon monster from your hand or deck. You can only use this effect once per turn. Guys, this is an insane effect. I mean, yeah, you can just summon a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster, so any of these monsters, or you can special summon something like Curse of Dragon from your hand or deck. I mean, this is a really nice card to have. Yeah, definitely you want to see this. It's a shame it's aqua. I wonder if there's any good aqua searches. I'm definitely going to have to do a little bit more research now to think about, because getting this on the field basically means you get any of the other cards, which is wonderful. So guys, for spells and traps, we have Spiral Fusion. We'll go through the Gaia ones first, then we talk about them. So we have Spiral Fusion. Fusion summon a Dragon Fusion using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If it's Gaia the Dragon Champion, it gains 2600 attack and it can make 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. So guys, this is a really good fusion spell. We like it. Nothing more to say about it. We are going to also be playing one Spiral Spear Strike. So if one Gaia the Fierce Knight or Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight or Gaia the Dragon Champion you control attacks defense position monster, it does piercing damage, and if your Gaia the Dragon Champion does battle damage in this effect, you draw 2 cards and discard a card. So that is a really nice card to have. What's really great, and the reason why I only play one of it, is because it is directly searchable by Gaia the Magical Dragon. Or sorry, not Gaia the Magical Dragon, it's searchable by Sky Galloping Gaia, the Dragon Champion, which is great. But yeah, this is just a generally nice monster to have. Then we have a nice card to have. Then we have Charging Gaia, which is the field spell. We're always going to play 3 of this, because what this is going to do is you reveal Gaia, the Fierce Knight monster in your hand, and add a level 5 dragon from the deck to your hand, or reveal a level 5 dragon and add Gaia, the Fierce Knight monster to your hand. So this is really good. It also stops your opponent doing stuff during the battle phase, which is wonderful. So definitely we need to see this at 3. And we are also going to be playing 3 Gateway to Chaos. This card is hilarious. It has been irrelevant for so long, but now it is great just because it searches Gaia the Fierce Knight monsters. So it's basically a free search, and we definitely need to play 3 of this and 3 of Charging Gaia. You want to see this because you're a fusion archetype. You do need to see multiple cards in your hand just to start your plays. But moving on from that, we are going to play 1 Spiral Reborn, which is going to reborn a level 7 or lower dragon monster in your graveyard, and if it's Gaia the Dragon Champion, your opponent can't target or destroy it, which is really good. And then Spiral Discharge. Your opponents can't target monsters with attacks except Gaia the Dragon Champion, and when your opponent declares an attack on it, you can destroy a card on the field. So this is a really good card as well, obviously forcing your opponent to attack your Gaia, and then when they do that, well, a card's going to get popped that they control, which is lovely. But yeah, that is the Gaia cards in the main deck. And then as you can see, this is quite clearly a going second deck, so we are going to play a lot of going second cards. Nibiru, Phantasme, obviously going to be good. Imperm, another really good card to play in this deck. Then we are also playing 1 Instant Fusion, just for that 1000 Eyes Restrict. And then a couple of more tech cards, so Terraforming, obviously just so we can see our field spells more, Reinforcement so we can see our Origin Gaia more, and Dragon's Mirror. Dragon's Mirror is a really good card, obviously, because your extra deck fusions are dragons, and so Dragon's Mirror, especially later in the game, can do a lot for you in terms of bringing these cards out for you, which is really nice. But let's go into the extra deck and talk about those Gaia fusions, which is why we play this deck. So we have Gaia the Fierce, Gaia the Magical Dragon Champion. So 1 Gaia the Fierce Knight monster, 1 level 5 dragon. Its name becomes Gaia Dragon Champion on the field, and you can use each effect once per turn. During the main phase, you can target 1 other card in the field. This card loses 2600 attack, and if it does, destroy that target. And when it destroys a monster by battle, it gains 2600 attack. So this is a really good card because obviously, you're almost always going to summon it with Spiral Fusion, which means it's going to come out with 200 attack. So it can beat over most things, and anything that can't beat over it can just lose attack to destroy it instead. And then it gains attack when it destroys monsters by battle as well. So it's just a really nice kind of card. It's going to do a lot, has a bit of utility on its own. Then we also have Sky Galloping Gaia, the Dragon Champion. So this card is really good. It's 1 Gaia the Fierce Knight monster and 1 Dragon type monster. This one doesn't matter what level that monster is. Its name becomes Gaia on the field. If it's special summon, you can add a Spiral Strike from your deck or graveyard to your hand. When this card declares an attack on an opponent's monster, you can change the battle position of that opponent's monster. Again, another really nice card to have just in general for beating over your opponent's monster. As you can see, this deck is really geared towards just beating over your opponent. That's all it wants to do. Summon a big ass dragon out and then beat over your opponent with it. And then with the link monsters, now there is a lot of flexibility in terms of what link monsters you play in this deck, because it's not really about that part of the deck, it's about the features. But in any case, I play 1 Verte because it's obviously going to be very easy to bring out, and Verte plus Dragon's Mirror, especially late in the game, is obviously going to be a free monster on the board, which is great. The Nightmare packages, which are great. Black Luster Soldier, why not play Black Luster Soldier? This is kind of like a Black Luster deck anyway, but yeah, Black Luster Soldier because it's very easy to bring out in this deck with its protection. Access Code, again, another good card. Brawl Sword and Brawl Load, because again, they are good battle focus cards that are going to get over most threats you have. Then we have the side deck. So in the side deck, now obviously Rise of the Duelist, we have some really good going second cards coming out. So to start off with, we have 3 Tactical Talents. Now this card, let's have a bit of a talk about this card. This card is a really good card, however, it is specific. The main matchups which you're going to want to use this card in are matchups in decks against decks like Salamangreat, against decks like Adamant Spirit, decks that are going to be using monster effects either in your turn or using a lot of monster effects on your turn, sorry. So you don't want to really use it against a deck like Eldritch, for example, because most of the monster effects they're going to be using on their turn. But if they are using monster effects on your turn, or Dragoon, by the way, Dragoon decks are another good example. If you're using this against decks that are using things like Dragoon, using monster effects on your turn, this becomes really strong as a going second card, just because it can either draw you 2 cards, which is great in a fusion archetype because that's a +1, or it can just take control of a monster your opponent controls, which is also going to be wonderful. Its third effect, I guess that's good if you're playing it going first and they ash you, but that's not really why I use it. So the main thing we're looking at, this is a slightly stronger
mind control, especially when Dragoon comes out. Well, one thing you're going to want to do is bait out negate from your opponent, use your 3 tactical talents to either draw 2 more cards, and so it's like, oh well, that negate didn't even matter, or take control of that Dragoon now, and now you've got a big ass Dragoon that you can use to pop cards in their field with, which is really good. Then we have 3 Forbidden Droplets. So obviously we play monster spells and traps, and we're going to be going second. Forbidden Droplet is a really good card coming out again in the next set, because it is going to be negating your opponent's entire field, so you can just beat straight through them. What's really nice as well, unlike Dark Ruler no more, this is not going to prevent them from taking damage, so this is another really good going second card to have. We then have 3 Evenly Matched, 3 Lightning Storm. Evenly Matched isn't ideal in this deck. This is more for those back row decks that you just have to kind of give up battle phases for, but you don't always want to play this, so this will only come out against back row decks. We have 3 Lightning Storm, again just a generically good card to clear boards, and 3 Unending Nightmare. I'm really starting to like this card because it just deals with decks, and especially decks that are going to force me to go first. A lot of the times you're going to have those slower control decks that are going to be like, okay, you go first because I know I can just beat you, can't kill me on first, and then I can just scrounge you out next game. Well, now I have an Unending Nightmare, you're not setting any sort of cards, you annoying Autogeist player. But anyway, yeah, so that's why I play Unending Nightmare to redeem cards. So that is my Gaia deck. Guys, try this deck out. This is a really fun and easy deck to play, and it's a really nostalgic deck as well, so I really do enjoying it. If I get a couple of likes in this video, I might show you some of my replays, because I definitely do have a lot of fun games with this. So guys, if you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like, comment, let me know what you want to see next, and I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.